Good morning, guys, and welcome back. So, I normally get up at about 6 a.m. and I don't eat right away. I normally start my day with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. The Celestial Seasonings tea I've been really enjoying. These are herbal, caffeine-free teas, so I don't have to add anything to them, and they're really good on their own. But I had coffee this morning, so to my coffee, I am adding some unsweetened vanilla almond milk and no sugar.
So one of the first things I did to cut sugar out of my diet was to make sure that I was not drinking my calories. I do not put sugar in my coffee. I do not put sugar in my tea. I drink water most of the time, or flavored water if I need to. And if I have a smoothie, I'm very selective about the fruit that I put in it and the portion that I consume of it. And we'll get to fruit and what you can and can't have later on in the video. But for now, I'm going to drink my coffee, and that will hold me over until I get hungry.
Okay, so let's talk about fruit. Fruit is one of those things where you can easily sabotage yourself because you think you're being healthy when in actuality you're really loading up on a ton of sugar. On average, we're only supposed to consume about 30 grams of sugar a day. So if we're minimizing that, it doesn't leave us much room for fruits. If you're going to have fruit or make a smoothie, you'll want to stick to low sugar fruits like berries and kiwi and stay away from apples and bananas. Now, for me personally, a smoothie just isn't a smoothie without a banana. The texture that it gives is essential to make a smoothie nice and creamy. Otherwise, it's just blended frozen fruit to me. So I'm cheating by adding frozen banana chunks to my smoothie, but I'm being aware by only using a small portion. This is about a third of a banana, which would only be about 6 grams of sugar at the most. And then I'm adding my unsweetened almond milk, and it should be a fairly good smoothie with a little bit of sweetness, but not too much sugar in it. And while we're on the topic of portions, keep in mind that if you have blender cups like this, by no means do you have to fill the entire cup up to make a full smoothie or to make a good smoothie. I am only doing this about halfway so that I can have roughly 8 to 10 ounces for a smoothie, and that's all that I need to get me through for a snack. Half the time, I don't finish it anyway if I fill it all the way up. But this is also going to help us keep track of the amount of grams of sugar that we're consuming. And if we just cut our portions, we won't deprive ourselves of the things that we enjoy. We just have a little bit less of it. If you're curious about different fruits and their sugar content, I have an article linked in the description box with a full list of different fruits and how many grams of sugar, carbs, and fiber they all have. And that way you can make a better decision, a more informed decision on which fruits you should eat, which fruits you should avoid, your portion sizes, and how often you should consume them. And this smoothie should hold me over for at least an hour or until I'm finally hungry enough to eat some real food for the day. Same rules apply to fruit juices. Many of them contain added sugars, and even if you get the organic juices that don't have any added sugar to them, natural sugars are still sugars, and this cup of apple juice on its own is 24 grams of sugar. That's your whole day.
Pro tip: prep your meals, okay? It is so much easier to stay on track with what you're supposed to be eating if it's already cooked and ready for you. Like, we have been eating so good, and the only time we have a downfall is if something's not readily available in the fridge or in the pantry for us to eat and not feel guilty about. So for lunch today, I am having some salmon and zucchini, and this is not rice. It looks like rice, but it is not rice. This is made from chickpeas, peas, and red lentils. It is by the brand Banza. Sorry. And it really tastes like rice, y'all. It's really good. They have spaghetti, angel hair, fettuccine, penne, and it's made from chickpeas. So, are there carbs in it? Yes. But it's not a bread, potato, pasta, or rice. Not real pasta or rice anyway. So I really don't feel guilty eating it because it's just chickpeas. It's just chickpeas. And that has been one of the easiest ways to help us stay on track food-wise, because I add rice or potatoes to every meal, and I thought my life was balanced. Like, and if you don't like salmon, grow to like salmon, because it is literally one of the best things for you, and it is delicious. And I'm going to show you guys how I make mine and get the skin nice and crispy, and how I prep my meals for the week. But for now, I'm gonna eat.
So when it comes to salmon, I know a lot of people buy it frozen. We do sometimes, but we really tend to buy it fresh with the skin on because we like the crispy skin. So the first thing you're going to want to do is pat it dry, and then you're going to season the skin side with just salt and pepper. Less is more. I know y'all gonna try to call me out for not seasoning my food, but salmon is one of those things that you really don't have to go too heavy with it. It tastes really good on its own. So we're just going to salt and pepper the skin, and then we're going to flip it over really quickly and do the same on the other side and add a little bit of garlic powder. You can really season it however you like, honestly. I just think with salt, pepper, and garlic powder, it's a blank slate for whatever you decide to pair it with. And of course, be mindful if you have high blood pressure or something, you might want to lay off the salt, So just be mindful of that. We're going to throw some olive oil in a pan. Olive oil is going to be your new BFF. And we're going to make sure it gets nice and hot. It's on about just a little above medium heat. And then we're going to throw the salmon in there, skin side down, and then we're not going to touch it for like 3 minutes. I wish we would have left the sound on so you guys could hear the sizzle when these hit the pan. But we were talking junk in the background, so I had to take the audio off, y'all. My bad. But after a few minutes of letting those brown, you're going to flip them, and it should be nice and golden and crispy. And we're just going to let those sit for another few minutes. While those are cooking, let's go through my freezer really quick. So in the freezer, we have a bin of frozen veggies: peas, broccoli, spinach, riced cauliflower. I think there's probably even some corn in there, and then there's a stir fry mix. And then the drawer underneath that is going to be our frozen meat, mostly fish. There's some cod and tilapia and shrimp down there. So during the week, I just pick a meat and I pick a veggie and we throw it together. If your salmon was really cold, it's probably still going to look pink in the middle. So you can go ahead and brown the sides of it as well. If you feel like it's still not going to be done, put it on a baking sheet, skin side up, and put it in the oven for about 5 or 6 more minutes. Don't leave it too long because it will overcook, and overcooked salmon is not that great. But anyways, I'm just going to have the same thing for dinner. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell for any of my next uploads, and I will see you next time.